For those scenarios where you may have multiple images, graphics on a page here in Microsoft Word and you want to keep them organized, maybe have text show up next to them and always keep it together, one little trick is to use a table and put those objects into cells in a table. That way they'll always be lined up, and as you add or remove content, the table's going to keep everything organized and together. This is often done in templates here in Microsoft Word. In many occasions, you don't even see the table. The grid lines are invisible, but it's there, keeping things organized. That's what we're going to do with our No Media campaign here. And if you jump to this lesson, you can get caught up by opening up No Media Campaign 3. And we do have our images down below, including this arrow, which we really don't need. So let's click the arrow once to select it, hit delete on the keyboard to remove it. That gives us a little extra space to play with. Now these are actually still images from videos, and we want to label them that way. So maybe it'd be good if we put them into a table. Let's create the table first. We'll just click down below the second image next to New Theme Music, and we'll go to the Insert tab. There's a few different ways to insert a table. Click the Table drop-down. The fastest and easiest way to get 2 columns by 2 rows is just to move down into the grid, and when we see 2 by 2 table and a preview on our screen of the table itself, we can click to create it, just like that. Now we can start dragging these images into the cells. It gets a little tricky though. Things start to jump around on your page. So the other thing we can do is click an image and we can cut it. We can do that by going up into the clipboard area of the ribbon with the Home tab selected and click Cut, and then just paste it where we want it in this cell. Click there and click Paste. There we go. We're off to the races. Now you can see things are moving around already on the page. They're not quite fitting properly. The rest of our table appears on the next page, but that'll all work itself out. Let's this time right-click the image and choose Cut from here. And we'll click in the cell below our reflection image, and we'll paste it there. Right-click and choose Paste. Now there are different paste options. Using destination theme, all of these are the same. It doesn't really matter because we're not working with text. We'll just click the first option and it's pasted into the table. Now these will always remain together in our table. We also have cells on the left now where we can start to do things like add text. So let's type in still from reflection video 1. Let's copy that. I'll highlight it, right click and copy. Click in the next cell. I'm going to use a keyboard shortcut, Control V to paste it, and double click reflection, replace that with ride by. There we go. Now we have our images next to our text in the cells. We can make adjustments to the table itself, like dragging this border over a little bit. Now we have a little more room to resize our images if we wanted to, make them a little bit bigger. And the other thing we can do now, let's take out this empty space here. I'll just click and drag over those few lines and hit delete. And maybe it'd be better if, for example, this was centered in the cell. So these 2 cells should be centered vertically. We can select those. And here we have our table tools for design and layout. And if we go to layout, for example, you can see here in alignment, we have the ability to do an align center. We'll do that. And the next thing we're going to do is hide all of the lines. So the table will remain, but people won't see it. All they'll see is text or labels next to images. And as we add or remove content here in the page, the table will keep things together and organized. So let's click in the top left corner, right on the selection icon to select the entire table. Now there are a number of design formats to choose from. If we go to the Design tab, we can choose from some of these presets by clicking the drop down. They all seem to have some type of formatting. Could be shading, could be a grid, could be light, could be dark. This one here, which is called plain, as you can see, hides everything. So I'll give it a click, but there is some shading on alternating rows. So let's click undo. We could spend all day going through these, or we could just go to our own border options over here for borders, click the drop down, and you can see there is an option here for no border at all. We'll give that a click. We have no borders. We can click outside the table to see the end result. And we're going to be confident knowing that as we add additional information here, like hitting enter or backspacing, the table is going to keep everything together and move around with our content. I'm going to take out another blank line here, and that looks pretty good. So just a little trick for keeping things organized. Put your images and text, etc. inside a table. you can hide the grid lines and make it look like you're very well organized and know what you're doing.